Good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk RC with RC Basherboi and JMH RC, myself. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday night. Hopefully a good 4th of July weekend. And I would like to thank all of our military people out there, past, present, families of the military. Thanks for the service, for allowing us to have the things we have, and the weekend like we're having, long weekend to celebrate. So appreciate everyone's service. And tonight we are going to talk about what's your favorite mods to do to your crawler. What's your first mod, your go-to mods that you will do to a crawler when you first buy one? Hey, AZ, how's it going, sir? And I put the link up for anybody who wants to join the panel tonight. It's an open panel, so feel free. So what's your go-to mod for a crawler, or your first mod's almost guaranteed that you'll do to everyone? And for me, I think that's servo. And there's Gabe. Good evening, Gabe. Wheels and tires for Gabe. And that's probably a pretty good one. But yeah, for me personally, it's usually the servo, almost always the servo. Second is probably, well, usually after the servo, it depends on what weak links I find. And that's, usually my second. But if it's nothing like that, it's servo and then motor, because I love the Holmes motors. So they're my go-to motors. We got KBRC joining us.
Hello.
So yeah, steering servo is my go-to modification. I'm trying to think on all the RCs I currently have, crawlers, and I think pretty much every one of them has an upgraded servo at this point. So yes, servo is definitely my go-to. And Gabe, it's interesting you say wheels and tires. I know attending USTE the past 2 years, and they give out a lot of stuff, and sometimes it's wheels and tires. They have a saying that if you win a set of wheels, you have to build a new rig. So you win wheels, they say you've got to build a new rig. So I think that's pretty interesting and funny at the same time. How's it going, KB?
All right. Yeah, I'd probably do a servo too.
Servo for you?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin Gibbs, welcome.
Because that's the first thing that went out.
Yeah, especially with crawlers, and from my experience that I have so far is, most of your stock servos for a crawler aren't too good. So they tend to, if you're doing heavy crawling with them rocks and stuff, I tend to find they give up pretty quick. So I do know there's a couple rigs that are out there, like your Gen 8 Axe Edition, that has a good reef servo from the factory that, in theory, you should never have to upgrade that servo. I mean, but generally speaking, I think stock servos are weak on pretty much all your crawlers. But what else you got going on, KB?
Oh, nothing much. I pulled the trigger on that Traxxas.
Oh, you ordered it?
But yeah, the Vortec 3.0.
Yeah.
Got the coupe. So,
sweet. When should it be in?
Mid-July.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, this month. Yesterday I was sitting there doing some stuff, and looked over, my phone rang, and I looked over, and the hobby shop called. I'm like, oh, I ordered it Friday. And I'm like, oh man, it's already in. What the hell? I picked it up. Well, we're just giving you an update. Your new car ain't going to be into mid-July. Oh man, guys, don't get me excited.
Don't tease me like that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, well, that's awesome though. Look forward to seeing it. I'm actually heavily contemplating buying a new RC pretty soon. Like I'm almost surprised I haven't went ahead and ordered it, but I think I'm gonna order me a DR10 drag build.
Drag car, yeah.
Notice doing some research for my local area does drag racing. I'm still going to keep building, my cheap build, if you want to call it that. But it doesn't appear that it's really going to fit in any of the classes that they run. So they have a stock DR10 class, and that's a pretty inexpensive rig to buy. So I might, when I decide I want to actually start racing, in sort of competition wise or whatever, I'll probably end up getting one to compete in the DR10 class. So, but I did get my body came in for my drag build, came in yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I haven't taken it out of the packaging yet. So I still got to take it out and cut out all the excess stuff, but I do have it.
Yeah. I just put new bearings on my 10.2 the other day. That was a pain in the butt, man. But I can see why you don't go through water. They're like, all trash. Well, they were stock bearings. I've had them in there for, 4 years. So
they held up pretty well then, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the water, the worst that I've seen is salt water. Salt water, very, really hard on bearings. And Kevin Gibbs makes a very good point. A lot of servo problems are caused by people forgetting to set endpoints. And I would definitely agree with you, Kevin, on that. Of course, most of your stock remotes don't have true endpoint settings, just your dual rate. And a lot of people leave that at 100%. And, I would agree.
Yeah, that freaked me out. I didn't even know what was going on when my servo went out. It was like, I just bought it, I was just driving it around the 10.2 and just getting into getting into the hobby really. And it's like, what is going on?
Kevin's saying he's thinking of Basher for his next RC, either Vortex or Mad Van. I just saw on Instagram just a little bit ago that CCRC or CXRC, however, I forgot, but he's got that Mad Van, and he had the A-Team theme music playing while he was bashing with it. It was pretty cool.
Is that Tony?
Tony, yes. But it does look pretty cool. I've watching Gabe's video. I think the paint on that thing looks really nice. Almost too nice for a basher in a way, but I guess they all start out nice.
Yeah.
Any other go-to mods? Anybody? Sean, how's it going? John, we're talking about your go-to mods for your crawlers. What's your first mod that you always do to pretty much every crawler?
The next thing I would put was the same thing went out was my transmission gears. They stripped, so I put metal gears in there.
Gotcha. Yep. Makes sense. So, yeah, I know. Trying to think through my crawlers that I've had, what I've done. Servos pretty much always one of the first. High clearance links are typically in there. but it also depends on the rig. Like my TRX4 Blazer, stock links on it. I mean, actually, the only things I've done to it is servo, which was like the first thing I did to it. And then I had to do front metal aluminum shock towers because the panhard mount or panhard mount is a part of the shock tower, and it started flexing. So I had no option but to do that. Gabe says another mod would be a receiver always to bind to my Spectrum remote to keep the clutter to a minimum. What about that, Gabe? What about that one remote that I know you absolutely love? Don't you use that one?
That's bad.
How's it going, AZ?
It's going. Well, another mod, I would say, right there.
Body. There you go. Good one. Yeah. Okay. Is that the 10.3 body?
No, hang on one second. Okay, we got a flash flood warning in effect for my area for severe weather. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're all good.
No, this is a scroll line.
Just pick your feet up, man. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
Yep. No, I took back the Beast 2 kit that I was building for the guy. He just wanted me to do the chassis, so I got that all done. And he gave me a bunch of stuff, including the stock tires from the Vanquish 410.
Okay.
The drive lines, and the shocks.
Nice.
So, I mean, the shocks are only like $45. These are like $40-50 at least.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice. Yes, Gabe, that's the remote I was talking about. I thought you were in love with that remote. I swore I remember you saying how much you loved that remote. And I'm just joking, of course. But Sean says, but it's Lexan on the body.
Yeah, it is. Price was right. It's only a temporary deal until I can find a hard body that'll work right on that Enduro chassis. Because I still have the one hard body, but it's for the TF2. It won't go on this chassis at all without major mods. And I'm not cutting up the chassis on that thing.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I like your idea on that. A 4th of July video about the STX2. That'd be a good one.
Didn't Gabe say he loved that remote more than his TV remote?
Yeah, right. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
AZ Froggy, oh, excuse me. You know you sent me that one picture? I need one from the other side, just the driver's side.
Why?
Just because I'm dyslexic and I can't.
Oh. All right. Give me a little bit.
Yeah, whatever.
Right now I got hands full of sticker. Oh, man. I'm sweating to death even though I got the AC on in here. It's hot in here. I think the AC is dying on me.
Hey, Gabe, you need to, that STX2, you should make sure your girlfriend knows how much you love that remote. So next time she wants to take something hostage, she takes that hostage.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. No, that's a great idea.
I don't think nobody's ever going to forget about that taking the RC hostage.
Yeah. No, we won't let him forget.
Right.
We can't. That was just too good.
Right. So
this is the one thing I hate doing is the window masking.
Yeah.
What color are you going to paint it?
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've got to see what I've got over there for colors.
So yeah, I took the easy route with my my RC drag build, the body I bought. I say it's pre-painted, but it's actually not regular paint. It's the color is made into the plastic or whatever.
Oh, it's like the silk screen type design.
Yeah. So I took
Yeah.
I took the easy way for the drag body. Still got to cut it out. Yeah, but the other thing is I wanted the color, and evidently you can't get that color in spray paint currently.
What color is it?
It's that gray, like the Demon and the Chargers, that weird gray, like sort of slate gray or whatever.
Close to the Corsa gray.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Tamiya does have a gray.
So, yeah, from my understanding, there's not one. Plus, it sort of worked out too, because I guess this won't chip and everything, and I know I'm going to roll this car and drag racing it and stuff, so it won't chip and everything. So, definitely the easy way.
Would you get the Malibu?
Yes, I did. Yes.
I was looking at one yesterday. That's why I thought of it.
Yes. Yeah, I saw the picture of it, and I said, "There it is. That's it."
Oh, it's nice. I'm not going to deny that one bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And actually, Brian was telling me that they say that body is the aerodynamics on it supposedly pretty good for RC drag racing. So
it is. The real Malibus are actually better than you would think.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know if you noticed. I put in there. I saw the new Traxxas Fortec hot rod yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it.
I wasn't very impressed. The body system, they've got it on the front, it slides in place. On the back, it's got 2 body pins that hold it in place.
Yeah.
They couldn't figure out a way to do the clip on the back.
Huh.
And the shocks on it are from like a 1/16 Mini E Revo. They're tiny. Literally, the spring is like that big right there. So.
See, the Corvette's got the clips on both ends.
Yep, that thing's set up nice.
Yeah.
And the way they do it, they could do it on the hot rod, but they chose not to.
Interesting.
I just pre-ordered one of them.
The Vet?
No, the hot rod.
Yeah, the one I saw was the red one. I mean, the body looks great. Don't get me wrong. It's got the right lights in it for the tail lights. It's wired up with lights already.
Right.
The wheels look awesome. Just the body mounting setup, they could have done better. They did it great on the Vet. They're doing it better on other vehicles. Why go backwards with that one?
Yeah. Welcome, Brian.
Hello, everybody.
Out here.
Oh, there might be my next body there in the background. I see it.
And of course, I moved in the way.
I just watched your video a little while ago on the graphics.
Yeah, I've been needing to do that for a while. It feels good to finally get it out of the way.
Yeah.
All right.
So, one of the questions of the night, Brian, is your go-to first mod for a crawler. Like, what's your go-to? I know you don't have that many crawlers, but what's your first go-to mod?
The first thing that I did was the servo.
Servo? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Which that's pretty much my go-to mod for the most part.
Yep.
That seems like it's.
Especially on crawlers, like my Max is still running the stock servo on it.
My Stampede is. My Stampede's running this stock one.
I know a lot of people upgrade on the Max. They upgrade the servo, but I haven't killed it yet. I did have to make some adjustments the other day because the way it mounts in there, I had to add some washers because it wasn't moving a little bit. And I did that, and that took care of the movement, and it's still going, but I'm sure I'll kill it at some point, especially after I hit it the other day at like 50 miles an hour. I ran right into a curb.
Oops.
On one side, actually. So it actually, it amazingly, it pulled the axle out, and it pulled one of the pins out of the C-hub. but nothing actually broke. Just pulled it out. So that was an easy fix.
That's a good thing.
Yep. That's actually like the first thing I've really had to fix on that thing. So it takes a beating and keeps going.
Yeah. All my vehicles get a different servo whenever I get them.
Okay.
First thing, no matter what, I don't even drive it. I get a new servo for it.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I
Okay.
do,
I
man.
at least drive them.
Nope, I don't even drive it. Well, you got to think, I'm also sponsored by MKS, so.
Okay. I can understand that too.
So I do have to swap into the element kit from an old deal. I've got to throw one in there before I go out tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be going on our Patriot crawl tomorrow.
Nice. Very nice.
Hopefully my body lets me. And we're collecting donations of parts for 11 Charlie.
Sweet. That's awesome.
That box, the box you see right there by me,
Mm-hmm.
on top of the tote, that's already a start of it. Bunch
Very
of
good.
tires and wheels, a couple servos, a couple radios. What else? I've got my body just laying in there for the moment. What else? There's something else in there too. So it's just a start. I know about 4 other guys are bringing stuff. So that big tote underneath is going to get emptied out and go with me tomorrow.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yep. That is great.
So,
Yeah. I'm not doing any RCing this weekend at all. So I was going to today. I was originally going to, but opted not to. So taking a break.
I should say we're hoping to still have it, because if it rains real bad and floods, where we have the event is in a wash.
Yeah. You may have a problem there from what I heard you talking about with the weather. So
Yeah, it depends on how hard it rains in that area. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's east of me and south of me a little ways, so we could be better because we got a big cell coming at us from the lake, which is north of me. So
yeah, we've got evidently there's a hurricane out there that we potentially got to deal with this coming week.
this is my current radar.
Yeah.
The little dot in the center, right by that big red strip, is me.
Yep.
Right.
So that's right on top of me. The wind's beating my door down right now. I was going to paint this tonight for that tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think you'll get that. So Brian, what else you working on?
I'm probably going to take the rest of the weekend off. I'd like to go make some test passes while the weather's nice, but of course I'll wait till it rains.
Yeah, we need some 3S action on the funny car.
Yeah. I really got to figure out the shimmy on the top end. That's pretty sketchy.
Now, can you on the TSM, can you turn the TSM down through the thing?
Yeah.
Not like all the way, but like maybe like 75% or something.
Yeah, I'm going to go back into the app and turn it down. I'm pretty sure that's what the shimmy was. I've seen that before on other driver aids. So somebody else that I talked to today said that it does that if the gain's all the way up on the TSM. So I'm probably going to put it back down to like 50% and try it there and see on 2S, and then see how it goes from there before I dump a 3S in it. I'm terrified of running it on 3S.
Here's another thing on the steering system, on like the bell crank setup. Make sure it's all tight, because any bit of looseness, any play in there at a higher speed, that front end will start going nutsoid on you. If it's got a bit on it where you can take the pieces out, and instead of a bushing, you can put a small bearing in there, try that out, because when we race our bombers and all that, they're the tracks of slash. If you got the aluminum bell crank set up and your bearings are worn out, your front end goes all over the place until you replace those bearings.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at how the steering's set up on it to see if it has a bell crank or if it's just linkage off the servo.
Yeah, it's been so long I can't remember.
I heard you saying about the 16th scale shocks on the new Fortec, and that's what this one's got is all 16th scale stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. But this one, the Corvette has got a longer shock on it, but the Hot Rod doesn't, and they sit the same.
Huh.
Yeah. So it made no sense.
Now, Brian, I know with the TSM, I have experience with that because my Max has that on it. Of course, we're talking about a different vehicle here, but I've never had any of that twitching or anything on mine with it full on. It's actually very stable for what it is, even with the tires doing pizza cutters as it's running 50 miles an hour down the road. It's still quite stable, but that doesn't mean I could definitely still see it being a problem, especially if it thinks there's some movement or something and it's trying to compensate.
Right.
So
the other car that I had that problem with was when I had the Fly Sky IT4S with the BS4 receiver, the one that came out with the GT5 remotes, and you could go in on the IT4 and turn on, I don't remember what Fly Sky calls it, but it's basically TSM.
Yeah.
And I didn't set anything. I just turned it on and tried to drive it on a Nitro Fortec, and it did the exact same thing. It'd get, 5-10 feet out, and it'd just start twitching real bad. Once I turned off the driver aid, everything was fine.
I've heard a lot of people with Nitro using that sort of thing, having that problem. What it probably is the vibration from the motor itself, setting it off and making it think it's doing something else.
yeah. It could be. Definitely could be.
So.
Welcome, Brandon. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Brandon.
So we're just been discussing what's your go-to mod for your crawlers. If you have a go-to mod, seems like a few of us is servo, for quite a few of us, myself included. And Brandon, you're in PA. Where at in PA are you? I may be coming to PA later this year. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, right now our 2.78 humidity 78, 2.72. It's sticky here right now. Ugh.
Humidity.
I wonder if you breathe. Ugh. When I came back here from Florida, I don't want that garbage.
Let's see. I'm trying to see what it is right now. Well, Miami at 68% humidity at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Anything over 10 for me is too much.
I heard that.
Let's see. Let's see. 80 in my area, 87%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Without rain.
Yeah, without rain. It gets much higher with rain.
Yeah.
There's not too much higher you get.
Rain just pisses off the humidity.
Yeah. Like, oh, really? You think so? Here, I'll show you.
Specifically, if it only rains for a very short period of time. Now, if it rains all day or something, then it's not actually does really good. But yeah, if it, a 30-minute rain shower or whatever, it's like you're just pissing it off the weather. Come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're where again?
St. Augustine and northeast Jacksonville or northeast Florida, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Yeah, I was Cape Coral, Fort Myers.
I spent quite a bit of time down there back in the day. To be honest, I say I hate Fort Myers, and it's more so because of the hospitals. I did work down there, and the hospitals down there, I just couldn't stand dealing with the hospitals down there, particularly Cape Coral Hospital in particular.
Cape Coma?
Cape Coral, yeah. But I mean, I liked the area outside of that. It was just I was always down there for work, and dealing with the hospitals was some rude people down there. That's in the hospitals, rude people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I dealt with them one time.
Been there, done that.
Got in a bike wreck.
Yeah.
They didn't like me.
I can tell you some
Gabe mentioned that he remembers the first mod he ever did to his SCX-10 was metal links, then tires, then servo. Kevin Gibbs said his TRX-4 was his first RC, did servo, then low center gravity battery tray.
His servo lasted that long in the axial. Did all that mods.
So I've never had a SCX-10, but if the servo in it is anything like the servo that was in my 6x6, then I mean that was horrible servo.
Depends on how early it was and what brand servo it was. The actual original the axial servo that was labeled like AX1 or whatever it was, those were Metal Gear servo. They were strong. I've got one that still works.
Okay.
But if it was
the tactic one, they were no good.
The early tactic ones were no good. The later ones were.
Okay. Hey, Green Frog, welcome.
What's up, Kagan?
So we're just discussing our first mods to our go-to mods for crawlers. Seems like servo seems to be fairly popular, being one of the first mods. So, yeah. Gabe says, yeah, the tactic was okay. That was a stock servo, held up well. Actually retired the servo working.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I've got in my Enduro right this moment is a tactic just to get it going.
So I can say that my 6x6, the servo that came out of my 6x6 was still working. I hadn't killed it. It's still technically a good servo. It just was horribly weak, very slow responsiveness. So it had to go.
Yeah.
I trashed both of my tactics.
Let me do this real quick.
Yep.
KB, I gotta, before I forget to, before I can't.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, man.
Which I don't know if I have to go check it out. The one that came out of the 6x6, I don't think it was a tactic. I don't think. I need to look. It's sitting on my bench upstairs. So, but so Kevin said the only thing stock on his Bronco is the frame. Everything else, even the body, is hard body now. So.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I've been my TRX is amazingly just about the least modded RC I have at the moment.
Yeah. Well, the Enduro kit, I mean, it was a kit, so that's all stock. But other than that, I just threw in what I wanted, so.
Gabe's saying that you got to remember the SCX-10 had plastic links so weak you could bend them easily. So that's another reason why the servo never gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a whole bag
Thanks
full of
for
those links, so. And I'm not talking sandwich bag, I'm talking a regular shopping plastic bag.
I used the old links of the trail honcho. I used them for extended my roof rack on the van because the roof rack of the van was too short. So I put them links on the back of them.
Yeah.
Nice. I actually do think I have one RC that still has stock everything, and that's the dang, I done forgot the name of it now. That Team Associated. It's what, the 112.
Oh, the CR12.
CR12. Thank you, Brian. Yes, CR12. That's the one RC I have that everything is stock on it still. Of
I
course,
don't think they really make much aftermarket for them, do they?
I haven't even looked. So, and to be honest, I haven't turned that thing on in over a year. I think it just sits on the shelf. I mean, I will say that a couple times I used it for what it was. It did impress me for not having much ground clearance to it, because it really doesn't. It actually surprised me, but yeah, I think the last time I used it was at USTE 2020, so it's been well over a year.
Wow.
I should probably take it out.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah. The one video I did on that actually got a lot of views.
There's not been a whole lot on them, so I'd say it would.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon, your servo horn broke before the servo in the TRX 4 Sport. Yeah. I've actually seen that on a few people's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely seen that. Yeah, my Blazer is taking a beating. Here's a plot twist question. What crawler mod did you do that was actually a bad upgrade? Good question.
King shocks.
Oh.
Putting wheel extensions on mine. The wheel hub extension things.
Yep.
Yeah. Bad.
I hate King shocks. They leak all over the place. They bind up. Yeah.
Yep.
No. Never again.
For me, it would be Red Cat's metal axles. For which one was it? I'm trying to think which rig it was for. Was it the Gen 7 that did it originally? But drive shafts. That was
bad.
They were not, overall, they were nicely made. The problem was, and I actually tried to work with Red Cat to get them to fix it, is the pins in them were too short. So certain points, just the pin could actually, vibrations and stuff, it would move back and forth across. And you had the rings around it to keep it from sliding out either end, but they were too short. It could actually pull out in the inside. And yeah, that was the one. So like my comp rig is on stock drive shafts. Like, it's all stock plastic drive shafts. Gabe, that's a good question.
Axial drive shafts are good. I haven't messed around with them at all.
So Kevin Gibbs says, I tell people to get rid of the portals. SSD delete kit changed the whole dynamic, in my opinion, as well as others I've talked to. It was greatly improved the performance. I haven't used all portals out there, but I can say that I generally like portals. So, but I do think that I look at things more from a crawler more towards the comp side of things. And obviously in that realm, portals is definitely better if you're competing.
You got portals on your comp then, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have, I only have 2 rigs. Well, no, I'm sorry, 3 rigs that have non-portals, and that's the cheap axial Jeep, not cheap, but the axial Jeep I have, the Trail Walker, straight axles, and then the 6x6. So Gabe says I was going to say the same thing. The King shocks are horrible.
They're expensive too.
I wanted to lift my honcho, and they would always get stuck. I don't know why they never worked well. Also, my honcho had horrible death wobble.
That's a loosen up behind the wheel.
Sean says straight axles or no axles. Portals make it too easy to drive. They should be banned from comps.
Some of them are. There's a couple of competitions here in town that they do not allow portal axles.
You know, I got almost the same clearance on my Proline Hyrax that you guys got with the portal axles.
Yeah.
I lined it up with a Traxxas truck.
That was actually the guy that's putting on the event tomorrow. He's like, "You're bringing your wagon tomorrow, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to empty a tote out to put stuff in." He's like, "You might need two." I heard from a bunch of people that are bringing stuff. So I might end up having enough stuff to build a couple rigs, it sounds like.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, I've got to send Javier a message real quick before I forget to again.
Yeah. So, Sean, I will say this about straight axles. So my axial Jeep I have, to be honest, I hate that thing. Straight axles, leaf springs, I hate it. Now, with that being said, my Trail Walker, I love my Trail Walker. And it has made me think differently on straight axles. But again, if I'm thinking of competing and crawling, and particularly towards class 2, because that's where I tend to put most of my focus, got to have portals to try to be competitive, at least where I'm at because of the train that we use.
JMH, is that a 10.3 you got? Your
What?
Jeep? The axial, is that a 10.3?
Actually, I don't know. I bought it used, and so I really don't know what it is. It might be a TF2 chassis that's been converted. It sort of seems like it's pieces and whatnot. I bought it because of the looks and did not think it through, and it's got that scale Jeep look, and with leaf springs and all that, but it's horrible. God, it's horrible. So, Green Frog says, was death wobble from drive shaft angle or lack of phasing? RC Basherboi.
I've never had a death wobble from incorrect phasing, but I've also never really made much effort to phase my drive lines, and I've never really had much of an issue.
Gabe says he has all types of crawler rigs, but his go-to is always his Wraith. Kevin said Traxxas axles have a small pumpkin, gives a little more clearance than a standard axle. And Sean, I realized that, with straight axle, you can still drive over rocks. I understand that. You have to adjust your driving when you got a low clearance vehicle with straight axles. But, if you're dealing with gates and going through a gate, there's only so much different approaches you can use without hitting the gate, where portals just make it easier. So, G-Made was the first to put portals on an RC. That's interesting.
Yep.
And Green Frog asked what Wraith RC Basherboi. He said, yes, the shafts came out of phase. Shaft angles were all over just because of the King shock upgrade. So
Another issue to say no more King shocks.
Yeah, you came back right after he basically he said he was with you on the King shocks. They were horrible.
Yeah.
Kevin was saying comps in his area puts portals in class 3. You don't have a chance then. So, and obviously, depending on where you compete at, that's, rules everywhere is going to change things.
Yeah.
Altered RC, fourth.
they put portals in with class 3 here too, but they usually just run them as a separate deal altogether, or just don't let them run.
Yeah,
With the two groups I'm referring to.
correct. Yeah, for my area, we have class 1, class 2, class 3.
Yeah.
We can run portals in class 1 here, and I've actually done it. I ran my TRX4 Blazer in class 1, just put class 1 Hyrax tires on it, and did decent with it. But the body is so big, and your gates are typically smaller for class 1, so I did decent with it, but I've done way better with the Trail Walker with it. Class 2, we can run portals. Most everybody does run portals in class 2 here. Class 3, of course, is just sort of everything, 4-wheel steer. And Kevin said a lot of Capras in class 3, and here in my area, they don't allow Capras in class 3 at all. Capras are their own class, basically. I think this year for our winter series, there's talks of running Capras and 6x6s in the same class, because everybody looks at the Capra and the 6x6s.
Same way.
Yeah, it will sort of very advanced rigs. I mean, they both, of course, your Capra, you've got dig, with it. So that's a huge advantage. And it's a fairly low center of gravity vehicle. It crawls very well for stock. And 6x6s, of course, you got 6 wheels. So, I mean, it makes a big difference on a lot of parts of crawling. So,
yeah.
yeah. They won't let the Capras in class 3, even though I sort of think it should be, but I also understand it too. So.
Well, if they did because one of the small groups did a class 3 unlimited deal where they had stuff like the Capras and portals and stuff like that. That was our Basher group when they were doing a crawling comp.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a class 3 that was a 2 but straight axle for Wraiths and Yetis, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they put like the Capras and all that in an unlimited class 3. So that actually went over pretty good.
Yeah. And Sean says portals should be banned from comps. It should be about your driving, not driving ability, not your ability of your clearance of your rig. And I do agree that it needs to be more about the driving, Sean. I completely agree. And that's one of the reasons in my area we don't really follow SORCA. I mean, we use a little bit of SORCA, and that's more so using the tire classifications for our classes. So that's really how we classify class 1, class 2, class 3 is by the tire sizes, just as SORCA does. But we don't really take all the other stuff that SORCA does. And scale points are out the picture. Like, we don't do scale points. Before I started here, they used to do scale points, and evidently it was a big thing because people were saying that you were taking the driving out because, if you got all the scale points to start with, you could be crappy and potentially still finish with a decent score compared to somebody who maybe doesn't have all the scale points, but, and does pretty decent. And I can understand that. I've never competed with the scale point side of things, so but I can understand it to a certain degree. And it's definitely in my area. It is about the driving because, we do. You have a 10-minute gate, a 10-minute time frame on your gates, or not gates, but on a stage, I should say. So we do 4 stages, and there's usually 25 gates. Or 20, I can't remember right now, 20 or 25 gates per stage, and you have 10 minutes to complete it. And typically speaking, most of our stages, you have to be under 5 minutes to be competitive on a particular stage. So, like, you've got to be able to be quick, and keeping in mind every gate we hit is 2 minutes to your time added on. So, 2
minutes? Wow.
2 minutes. Yes. So you really have, and that's a problem I've had is I get impatient, but it's like, really, you should take your time on a gate. Like 2 minutes is a long on one gate. You know, you got to make that decision. Do I think I can clear this in 2 minutes, or do I think I'm going to waste 2 minutes doing it? Should I go ahead and hit the gate or whatever to get through it? But it really is about the driving. So.
Ooh, wife's making egg salad.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, smells good.
Puke. Puke. Ate egg.
I had Green Frog.
Eggs.
I could see a no portal free class, like a class 0 or something of that nature, you know, no portals or something. Or if they wanted to say no portals in class 1, I'd be perfectly okay with it. I mean, yeah, Sean's saying, but Sorka is a joke as well, because you can get beat because you have more scale points. That's half the reason I got out of comping. And I agree with you, Sean. Yeah, exactly. I like the scale look of stuff. Sean, you're saying, yeah, without portals, there's no way you'd be under 5 minutes. And what I will say is it really depends on the stage. Like where I compete, we usually, for class 1, we have usually 2 stages that are class 1 specific stages. And they're more dirt and stuff. So clearance isn't that huge of a deal, but they also, class 1 will share 2 stages with all the other guys. And that's usually some rocks included. We do have a section of rocks that is the more hard stuff that you would never want to take a class 1 rig on. And they never get put on those. But yeah, I mean, you know, class 1's fun. I enjoy it. But class 2 is where that's where I put my focus.
I never really went by that kind of class designation.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing our stuff with the bashing group that I did the events with.
Mm-hmm.
We went 1-9, 2-2, and then Wraith and all those were in their own separate category.
Yeah.
They didn't like me one time. I took my SCX 10 with my 2.2s on it. I got to the event late. I was the last person to run the course. Had not seen what it was. The guy that was scoring me was just showing me where the next gate was.
Mm-hmm.
I went through and beat everyone by 3 minutes.
Nice. Yeah, so typically, like class 2, I'm currently in class 2 sport class, and usually first place, first, second, and third are usually under 30 minutes total time, typically. And then when you move up to class 2 pro, your top 5 are usually under, most of the time, under 20 minutes total time. So the class 2 pro guys, like they and it's stuff changes for us for class 2 pro. When you go into class 2 pro, like winch, like in class what I'm in right now, I can use a winch. It's no penalty. I can use a winch many times as I want, no penalty. Class 2 pro, it's a penalty. And those guys, boy, they will not. They do everything in their power not to use a winch. They get mad if they have to use a winch. So,
I've never used one. I had one for a while on my rig, and I pulled it off because I never used it.
I had one. I did use it a little bit, but if you're competing, what I found, if you're competing and you're going to do a winch, then you need to have a servo winch, a good servo winch, because time is of the essence, especially like the kind that we do. Time is of the essence, so you need a winch that's going to go in and out very quickly.
Yeah.
To save yourself time.
I can see that.
But I ended up going to the DSM integrated kit, and I mean, there's a couple scenarios where it might not be as good as a winch, but if you're just trying to get up a hill or something, it does everything a winch will. And most of the times you ain't even got to unhook it, because once the vehicle gets close enough to it, it releases itself and then it pulls itself back in and you just keep going. So
Yeah.
it's very, very good. But so Gabe said he entered a comp once with his SCX 10. Just because I had 2.2, I wasn't allowed to run in a normal class. They put me against the Wraiths and the Spawns. Surprisingly, I did all right. So
Yeah.
Green Frog said hard body belly dragger or Lexan. Sean, you think? I mean, I'm sorry, it's Sean. He's going to do a hard body, right?
Yeah.
I can't picture him doing a Lexan comp rig.
No.
No, not anymore.
Even though, in my opinion, I mean, granted, if you got scale points, the hard body gets you more points. But
yeah.
I still think Lexan's better for competition.
Weight wise and all, yeah.
Yep.
It's not as top heavy in areas and a little more balanced.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I have thought about doing a hard body comp build, and I could see myself doing one in the future at some point, just to try it. But,
yeah.
JMH, what do you got on yours for scale points? You got a driver or anything like that?
Actually, no, I don't currently, and that's interesting. A good question too, KB, because something I didn't know in the beginning, and I'm not saying I know it completely now, but you know, there is things I have that count as scale points on on my rigs. A lot of rigs stock already have scale points on them. I mean, sliders, count as some scale points, and you get more for metal versus plastic. Chassis mounted servo, I think in certain classes count to a certain degree, and if you have a winch, it can count scale points. So my comp 2 build, to be honest, I don't have much of scale points at all. Like I didn't build it around that because scale points weren't a factor. So it was never a thought on my mind. Now this coming winter series, my class 1 rig, I have to have an interior. We haven't had to have an interior, but this year it's going to be required that we have an interior. So my trail walker will be getting an interior added to it.
3D print that out, right?
I could, but that's not what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm probably going to run the Capra interior because it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be complete, like super scale interior. It just really has to be like chest up or whatever, so
that's what most basically.
Exactly. And that's what most people are actually running is the Capra.
Yeah, the two guys, right?
Yeah, basically their head and chest for the most part.
Yeah.
Type
I know a lot of people have been looking for the different Pro line interiors that I guess they discontinued.
Yeah.
2 different shops I was at yesterday, each shop had at least 1, if not 3, in stock.
No, you should have bought them and turned around and sold them for a few
Oh,
dollars.
I'm going to. I just didn't have the time yesterday to do it. I just had to be in and out. The one shop I was dropping off the Beast kit and picking up my stuff and then leaving. The other one, I just had to drop off a paper to them for a model show later this year. So then I had to get home. I had someone meeting me here. So, but I'll be going back for them tomorrow.
Okay, very good. So Sean said he's not sure between the hard body or Lexan, but I feel one in the future. C10 belly dragged would be sweet per Kevin. And Gabe says, if I were to compete, here's my lineup. HPI Ventura FJ Cruiser. Second is the String Ventera Cinder. Next is the ECX Gen 2. And for the win, the iconic Axial Wraith 2.2.
I go along with part of that. I I would go along with the Wraith, but I don't know if I'd do 1.9 or 2.2 with that actually. I would do the Ascender, yeah, but I think I'd take and do a modified Crawler King instead of the Venture. Or instead of the Ascender, I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Obviously, for me, my Predator is my comp build, and overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. So it's my go-to rig, but my Trail Walker is actually a close second. So it's actually a really surprisingly how well-rounded rig that is, even out of the box. So. They did
Gizzard disappeared.
So, anybody got any big plans for tomorrow for 4th?
I'll probably do a run and just have some hamburgers or something like that. I usually do a run on Sundays.
I'll be doing this run tomorrow. I got to be there at 6:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm going to probably get off here in a minute, eat something, and start getting ready for bed so I can be up in time. So I got to be up and out the door. I got to be out the door about 5:30 to get there.
So Sean says an LC70 belly dragger would be cool, and I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what an LC70 is.
It's a like a Range Rover Land Cruiser, or
Okay.
Range Rover Discoveries type deal, if I'm correct. He always messes with the Land Rover stuff, so it's got to be something along those lines.
Yeah. Gabe says that I've seen the Crawler Kings. It's too high in his opinion. The HPI Ventura is well centered and does really well, surprisingly.
That's why I said modified Crawler King. The buddy of mine had one, and it was actually lower than my XCX10 for the way it sat. And he went over everything he pointed the thing at.
Yeah. Now, what I've seen locally, like there's been people with Ascenders that were competing with them, but most of them go away from them. From my view of them, I think they're too high center of gravity for competition purposes. Not saying you can't modify them enough and get them right. I'm not saying that, and I don't have any experience with them. Anything can be modified, but
I keep hearing Crawler King. Is that what this is?
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yep.
Long
Wait a minute.
story.
Is
That's
that
That's
Uh,
a
let me
wheelie
see
king.
Yeah, that's either the Wheelie King or Crawler King, depending on which way everything's set up. But that is the right axles and all.
Yeah.
I've got those axle housings, and I've got the aluminum knuckles for that too.
It's a long story how-
where the servo is.
There was a servo mount on the other axle as well.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's
That's probably the Crawler King. My servo was way up at the top in the frame. It was a pain in the neck.
yeah.
It's a long
but-
story how I acquired that, but I have it sitting in the garage for no apparent reason.
If you need spare axle housings, let me know. I've got them.
gonna build a monster truck.
No, I ended up with them in a box.
Well, I was asking Brian since he's got.
Oh, Brian. Oh,
Well, I need to start another project with everything else I got going. So sure.
I might have the perfect body for you for it.
Which one?
I have a brand new Ford F-250 truck body, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know which one you're talking about now.
Yeah. So Sean said that body's a Toyota. I guess the
Okay.
LC70.
I was thinking Range Rover just because the way he does with those things.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. So.
An Irishman that loves British cars. Got to get him somehow.
But, I actually want me a monster truck too. Like, I don't know what one I want, but
Don't get the Wheelie King.
You can't anymore. I haven't even seen one for sale in I don't know how long.
I sold mine a couple of years ago.
I like my Clodbuster. It's a blast. It was a great build too.
yeah, I've thought about getting one of those. I've seen them pop up. And I don't know. There's others I would like to have, other RCs I'd probably want to have before I would, unless I ran across a heck of a deal I couldn't pass up. But
Yeah.
like, to be honest, I like exo caged RCs. He's got that. I forgot what the build started off of, but it's one of his oldest RCs he has, and it's I think it's an F250 or F350 Ford body, black. That's just super cool looking. That I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Sean says CCXRC just keeps beating on that low C and it keeps taking it.
Yeah. You can't deny that. That thing's been put through the ringer multiple times and just, okay, what's next?
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see. But so everybody in the chat, I know quite a few people have answered this, have been around. I see we got looks like a few extra people than we had earlier. You know, what's your go-to mods for your crawlers? First mod you will do to a crawler. Common one seems to be servo. A couple people I think mentioned wheels. But and for that matter, it don't even have to be a crawler. It can be any RC. What's your go-to first mod that you do?
All right.
But
And the next thing I did was I put the aluminum C-hubs on there on the front and the lockouts on the back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on my SCX10, I went with metal axle housings.
Sean, first mod should be don't buy an RTR.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm bad about that. I almost prefer to buy an RTR, to be honest. So
Yeah.
See, the only brand new RC I've ever bought was my Gen 8. Everything else I've bought has been somebody else's problem or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a roller that needed tons of work.
Yep. Same here. It's either been a used piece or one of my Tamiya kits for the most part.
yeah, I'm sadly I don't know if I'm lazy or impatient or what, but hey Dennis, welcome. But I prefer an RTR because I like to be able to slap a battery in it, try it out, go play. You know, I don't mind working on my rigs, and I do work on them, but the idea to me of buying one all in pieces and putting it together, for me personally, doesn't sound fun for me. And I realize some people, AZ, Sean, stuff, you know, maybe building them might be more of the fun for you guys, and that's great. I mean, that's what you like. That's what you like. I ain't got nothing against it. It's just it's not necessarily me. Now, I did do that with my, well, I say I did it, but sort of did it with my comp build, which was really I tore down a rig down to nothing and then started moving stuff over to the chassis. And it did take me a week or two to get that together because I had to order a few things here and there. And that bugged me, to be honest.
Drove you nuts, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. It did. But again, I think because I am impatient, like I want to go out and I spent money on this. I want to go out and play with it. That's just how I am, unfortunately. So
yeah, me, I like building them because I used to work on and build real cars, and I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. No, I get it. So
also keeps my brain working.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And I mean, I've done the real car thing too. And as I've gotten a little older, what I've come to realize is, so I actually have a car that's sitting torn apart in pieces for like 2 years now. And I have no interest to work on it, to be honest. No interest.
Been there before.
And I should have never it was running car. It wasn't like it was blown up or anything. I tore it down to upgrade it. Tore it down to upgrade it. And I shouldn't have, honestly.
Been there before myself.
Kicked myself for that one.
I don't know if you can see the cylinder head there. Same situation.
Yeah. Small block?
No, it was off an Eclipse.
Oh.
Gabe says, I guess the first upgrade or first thing to do before you use your crawler is read your manual. Yeah, okay.
No. Yep. You're right back. Dogs are going nuts.
Yeah. And Kevin, I agree. RTR is a great way to learn the hobby for sure. Obviously, I had couple RTRs, 4 RTRs before I did my comp build. And having those and working on those definitely gave me some confidence to do the comp build, which isn't quite the same as doing a kit, but closer to it. But
yeah, my kit experience, I didn't like my kit experience. Just I built the raw builder's kit for 11 Charlie. I'm going to donate another one. I'll just donate ready to run.
Yeah. And Sean, I see your point that, when you buy RTR, you're changing the electronics, wheels, tires. You could have saved that money when you did a kit. And I get that for sure. Now, I will say me personally, I mean, servo is always my first one that I upgrade. And not always right away. My 6x6, I had it for a few months before I upgraded the servo on it. A lot of times tires isn't my first upgrade. My Gen 8 is still using the same tires. No, I'm sorry. It isn't. I apologize. My original Gen 8, I ran the stock tires for quite some time, but I did upgrade the tires eventually on it. My TRX4 still run the same tires because I love those tires. And I did upgrade the tires on the 6x6 here recently. I mean, that's a valid point. I definitely agree.
What I was going to tell you last night about the DR10 and the RTR,
yep.
And it kind of goes with what Sean's saying. For you running an RTR class, I mean, of course, the RTR would be the way to go. But not only if you wanted to go to the Outlaw class, the RTR would still be the way to go because the kit doesn't have the tires, it doesn't have the body, remote, and electronics, which, of course, when you start moving up to Outlaw, you wouldn't be using that motor and speed control anyway. But for the difference in price between the kit and the RTR, you could sell that motor and speed control and make up the difference between the kit price and the RTR, if that makes any sense, but still have a body and tires because the kit doesn't have the body and it doesn't have the tires. It just has the wheels.
No, I was actually, I'm glad you said that, Brian, because I was actually about to mention that, because I am thinking about getting an RC drag car, buying and I was looking at the kit versus the RTR, and obviously the kit is cheaper. And I was like, hey, maybe I'll do a kit, for once. This will be like my first kit in a way. I was thinking that, like you said, the class that they have here, if I'm going to run, the RTR makes sense because it pretty much has to be an RTR except for shocks and the transmitter and stuff. So like it's definitely the way to go in this instance. And that might be one of the rare occasions, but on a crawler, depending on what you're going to do with it, compete or whatnot, might not make as much sense. And there is some good kits out there. I won't deny that. I mean, you got the Traxxas kit, the SEX 10-2 kit. I mean, there's quite a few kits out there. Red Cat's got their kit. I mean, plenty of kits out there to build something at pretty good price. But
But you got to think too, if you take like one of the drag cars ready to run and you are wanting to move up later, you've got the extra motor ESC as a backup for one of your bashers you can just throw in.
Yeah, absolutely. No, good point. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You always recycle stuff. If you don't sell it, recycle.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. And Dennis made a good point too. Some people that get into crawling just want to get out and try it first, so an RTR is best for them, and completely agree with that. I think for first timers, RTR should be the only way, honestly. Get them out there, get them hooked. I sort of look at it as like what 11 Charlie's doing with the veterans. Even though some of these are custom builds, they're getting an RTR.
Right.
To them, to get them out there, get them into the hobby to see what it's about. And of course, some of them, they go out a few times and then they're like the rest of us and they're buying either kits or they're buying stuff and, modifying and whatever. So it's definitely good. Gabe says RTR is good for just fun upgrades as you break. That's what I say. My Jeep Gladiator is still running strong. I only painted the wheels black and it's taken a beating. And that's what I like, is getting an RTR, finding what's weak on it, upgrading a little at a time. And like my Trail Walker, I've done very minimal mods to it, and where it's sitting, I'm perfectly good with it. Like I don't see a need to do anything else to it. Now my Gen 8, I did a ton of mods to it. Not right off the bat, but over time did a ton. And if I had to if I could start over with that rig, there's definitely some of those mods I wouldn't put on it now. I don't think, but it actually runs good for what it is with the body that it's on it. But, I sort of upgraded it as I went, and it was fun.
Shorn's kits are like high end. I mean, his windows roll up and down and everything. That's kind of,
Yeah,
that's cool for a kit. If you get a kit like that. Don't get like a Raw Builders kit. I didn't. Yeah. It was good, but pain in the neck.
The Brandon's got a good point there too. Excuse me. He can't build, so it's nice to have an RTR because his hands don't work right.
Agree. I understand. I mean, there's obviously many reasons for RTRs.
Yeah, they're a lot funner.
Yeah.
Right
and they
out
keep
of the box.
to a certain extent, the manufacturers keep upping the standards too with RTRs to a certain degree. Anyway, I mean, I felt like Red Cat really stepped it up last year when they came out with the axe, and you had the Hobbyween axe brushless in it, and you had a reef servo in it. Like when did you ever have those kind of, like, and the radio too? Like what RTR came out with that kind of electronics out the bat? And I mean, for the price of the rig, I mean, you couldn't get the electronics for the price of that rig if you went out and got them separately. And it seems like, of course, they keep seeing, each manufacturer keeps seeing who can up the next, who can do the next, great thing to, now you got the XCX 10.3 with, dig and everything.
Yeah.
My computer keeps on going out.
Green Frog says you can't beat the value of an RTR. Custom builds tend to get pricey, but I do really like the kits that come with upgrades. And I think depending on what kind of kit you're building, I think there's two different types, or at least two different types of kits. You got your, what I would say Sean builds, beautiful custom scale, highly detailed stuff, and I'm sure what he does gets expensive. I can only imagine what he puts money wise into a build. And then like I'm looking at it more from like my comp build is. If I was building a comp build, I'm not saying I can't spend a lot of money in a comp build, but at least the one I've built so far, I don't have a ton of money into it. I mean, I don't have as much as Sean has in his scale builds. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, those get real expensive.
Yeah, I can only
Real
imagine.
quick.
Can only
Same with me with the semis, but I've also got like the enduro kit, stuff like that. It's not a real high end deal.
Yeah.
So I've got both ends of the spectrum.
And Gabe says, to conclude, a kit is basically great when you really know what works, such as electronics, aftermarket parts, but an RTR comes in hand when you just want to experiment. And I agree with that. That's a good way of putting it, Gabe. I think that's a very good way of putting it. They both have their place, obviously. Kevin says he misses the extras Axial used to have. I only had one kit with the cool stuff before they quit. And I guess since I only have one Axial, I guess could somebody fill me in on what he means by that?
They used to have 2 or 3 bags, right? AZ Froggy?
Well, they used to have different trees with pistols, rifles, ammo cans,
Longhorn, all kinds of stuff.
skulls, and all like that. They had all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so my 6x6 actually has the Longhorns in it. Like there was a couple things. So okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have 2 or 3 trees, man. They used to have a whole bunch of stuff.
I mean, I still have that stuff. Like it's actually still in the original bag because I never pulled it out. I have to go back and look and see if there's any guns in it. I don't remember.
They don't even have any like end links or anymore, do they? They used, they'd have link ends and all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of extra
rod
stuff.
ends and things like that. Yeah, I don't know if they do or not.
I think it had, if I'm not mistaken, too. It had a
dry shaft.
Well, it had a gate, like one of the
green gate marker.
Yeah, 2 green gates.
Yep. Sean says he doesn't even want to think about it. I'm assuming that means how much money he's put into his builds.
Yeah.
It's only $20 a month, Sean. What are you talking about?
Right. And Dennis, RTRs definitely will let new people learn the ins and outs, what they need to fix and upgrade. I agree. Gabe says, another example, if Basherboi builds a kit, I know what works and what doesn't. And RTR, Basherboi goes full send or full rock crawl mode and breaks as you go. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Cool.
When I first got the Axial, the 10-2, when the servo went out, I had kind of a little anxiety of changing it and stuff like that. But once you got over that, just dived right in.
When I got back into all this fun stuff, I had a HPI Sprint 2 Sport, and I had to replace or repair a diff because part of it came apart where it was holding the belt on. Then I had to replace a rear belt. That was a nightmare for someone who hadn't messed with an RC for 15 years.
Sean says you still get that stuff with the Raw Builders kit.
Huh.
You started down a rabbit hole that is scale Sean, but damn it, you took me with you. Frog said, talking in third person, are we, Gabe?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh boy, what do we got going? The guy that called me said, "Looks like the rocks will be clean in the morning. See you out there."
yeah, clean it up. Yeah, I may have to get the Nova body that you got sitting in the background there.
Yeah. But
Oh
don't
yeah,
do
I
it.
see it now. That black Nova.
Don't do it black. Everyone did black for Murder Nova.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but it's common.
Yeah, well, the difference being is this one you can't tell it in the pictures, but it's got the Yanko stripes on it.
I can see it in silver.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just saying for you, don't do it in Murder Nova black.
Well, the reason I mentioned it is he actually just posted a little while ago earlier talking about that body's basically for sale if anybody needs it. He got it just to do the stickers and do a video about how to properly put the stickers, and it's making me I'm sort
it's
of like
one of the Proline Tough Color blacks.
Yeah.
yeah. So
What's it on?
What chassis is it on?
Yeah.
That one is the Associated B5 base drag car.
So Gabe responded with, "Yep, I'm trying to give all the examples as possible. Wanted to talk in third person. Here comes my passive aggressive example." In a kit, I am not putting a STX2 remote on there. Why? Because it doesn't work.
It works. You just don't like how it works. That's all.
I don't think he gives the STX2 a fair chance. Like
My tactic is still working. I have to hit it after it comes on because the light goes off, but it still works.
Yeah. Now, the good thing with the Tactic radios, when you had a Tactic servo with it, it's self-centered. You didn't have to touch it when you set it up.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like he does not give that. Yeah, STX2 is not RC Basherboi approved. Yeah, evidently not.
That's on his hit list.
Right.
So I'm unfamiliar with that remote. Does it work further than 20 feet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it works a long ways, man.
Well, it's got to be better than what I have.
Sean
What
says
you got?
everybody needs
Oh.
to send Gabe their STX2 controllers.
Uh-huh. I think we should.
I go about 400 feet, man. Long ways with mine.
Gabe says he gave it a chance. It didn't want to work for him.
Yeah, okay, Gabe. Brian, what radio do you have?
I have a Gropner X8E. I've been having problems with the 2-channel receivers.
Oh, wow.
The 4 channels work great. The 2 channels I can't get 20, 30 feet out of.
Oh, wow.
That's like my Stampede. I have to raise my hands up in the air to get any distance on it.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It would be awesome to see Gabe's front porch just boxes and boxes of STX2 remotes.
You can send them some of my way. I like them receivers.
That would be hilarious.
I've been in the mud and all kinds of crap, man. It works great.
Green Frog asks, "What's your feelings on the STX3, Gabe?" I have a feeling he won't give it a shot. I think the STX2 has
Poisoned him?
yes. Kevin said, "Send it to a gun channel, Gabe. Shoot it in slow mo."
That would be funny.
That would be. I mean, I still like there's a few ideas I've liked. I mean, I've liked the idea of, I think I told him once before, do like hey, Tank, welcome.
Hey, Tank.
A video like, I don't know, set it up like on a top of a building or something, but use an RC to like slide into it and knock it off the side of the building or something.
Oh,
Like
you guys
that
are
one
killing me,
trip guy
man.
does.
Yeah. But also fireworks, something with fireworks would be cool. Shooting it would be cool too.
Because they got plenty of 22 ammo and 38 ammo. I could have fun with that.
I got plenty of 22 ammo.
Oh, mine's the Magnum stuff. That's what my little piece takes.
I've got my 22 rifle. I probably got about, I don't know, 1,300 rounds or so, 2,200.
I've got 1,200 rounds of Magnum. I've got about 800 rounds of 38 round nose. It would take forever to go through that 38 round nose with the piece I use it in, since it's only a 2-shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I probably the 22 ammo I've got. I think I'm set for life. I don't shoot mine that much, so. Boy, can you
Things
turn
keep
it down a
that
little?
crazy, you won't be.
True.
Sad to say, it's only beginning.
Rock.
Which one is it?
All right. Let's get there.
There you go, Gabe.
Yeah. I'll send you the box. You can put in one of your old ones in there and send it back to me.
You guys are bad. Funny as all get out, but that's bad.
Hey, Tank. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Francois. Good evening, sir.
Good day, good day.
So they're talking about your Porsche.
Yeah. Gabe in your porch.
They love my Porsche.
Yep.
Charging up some batteries, and I think I might have a problem. I'm going to an event tomorrow. Well, I'm hosting an event. Get that. I'm hosting an event, and I'm actually bringing 9 cars with me.
Holy cow. That's a
Where
lot.
the heck am I going to have time to drive 9 cars over there?
Right?
When are you going to have time to drive one?
Yeah, I know.
Where's the event at?
5 minutes from my house. It's a new park that we just created, me and my buddy, Ollie's RC Park. We did start a Facebook group on that, and it's because I had to close down my trail and reopen over there. So we reopened over there and did a lot of work, but there's still lots of work to bring it up to par to what I had here. But it's getting there.
So can I ask, if you don't mind, because I knew you shut your stuff down and was moving the stuff to your buddies or whatever. I mean, is that because of, I know some of the land you were using wasn't yours,
That's
behind
correct.
you? Did they
That is
finally say something? Because I know at one point they were good with it.
Yes, they were good with it. I had no problem using it, but I don't know why. But all of a sudden, a lady did knock on my door and says, "Yeah, I have no problem you using it." And then she called me back, goes, "No, I can't let you use it." So she changed her mind because her lawyer said so.
Yep.
So her lawyer kind of convinced her, "Nah, it's not a good idea."
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And then the one next door to it, he never said anything before. He never came to me. He never said anything. Heck, I'm actually cleaning the forests. When trees fall down, I'm the one that actually cleans it and makes sure it's off the ground and whatever. But all of a sudden, I started seeing signs pop up, like no trespassing, exactly right where my trail was for my car. So he actually put it right where I couldn't miss it. So I said to myself, okay, screw that. I'm not going to start expanding on that side. So
Yeah.
side to just,
Yeah.
Understood.
I had the okay before, but things change after 5 years, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Things definitely do. People can change their minds, but
So where's Gabe?
he's in the chat.
Oh,
So he's been. Question for you, Tank. One of the things we've been discussing. What's your go-to modification for a crawler? Like first modification you do to a crawler?
well, my SCX10 would have been the gears inside the transmission to make sure they're metal. That would be one pretty important. Other than that, I usually upgrade the dry shaft when they break because they are plastic and they do end up breaking after a while. But me, I'm pretty careful of how I bind. Like when you're rock crawling, you got to make sure your wheel or something is not like hooked.
Yep.
Some people, they just throttle out, they don't care, and that's how things break.
Yep.
Bumpers, I guess, good bumpers in the front. That would be a good idea. Front and rear. Winch is always a nice thing to have.
Mhm.
And then wheels. A good set of wheels with bead locks.
You didn't say the servo, Tank.
Yeah, that's that's what I was waiting on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear something different because we've heard a lot about the servo.
Servos, yeah.
I mean, I know me, it's servo. Servo is almost my go-to upgrade.
Well, if it's a kit, you're going to put a good servo in it. But if it's a ready to run, yes, you're probably going to end up upgrading the servo on it. That's a good one. But I usually buy kits, so I just pick the servo I want, so I don't have to upgrade it.
Okay, understood. Makes sense. Yeah, Gabe posted, said he's not home, Tank, unfortunately. He's in the chat, and he's curious to see your Porsche.
It's hidden on the shelf. I'm debating to bring it tomorrow, but that's going to bring my count up to 9.
Jeez.
I think I got enough.
Yeah, that's a lot of RCs to take.
You gonna do that virtual run tomorrow, Tank, with the guys?
Yes. Yeah. I put an FPV camera in one of my truck, and I'm going to let people drive it around, and it's got a small little monitor they can watch it through. So it should be interesting.
Cool. So virtual run? This is a virtual run?
No,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what I meant, FPV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
he meant an FPV camera, FPV
Yeah.
truck.
Okay.
That reminds me, I got to pack everything. Make sure I bring the charger. Make sure I bring everything.
That works, Dennis.
Yeah.
How
I
far
got
away
black
from the house is that going to be from you, Tank?
Oh, it's a big 5-minute drive. It's just terrible.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can afford the gas for that.
Yeah, I know.
You just drive the RCs over there.
Almost, I could walk them.
Yeah. Except he's got to take 9.
Yeah.
That's why you get a garden wagon and put them in there and just walk over.
Or he needs 2 big, very long trailers and use 2 RCs and do a Sean and drive, 2 RCs with 1 remote, pulling 2 long trailers with the rest of them.
That's an idea.
Right?
That would make a cool video.
Right?
Yeah, but that sounds too tiresome, so no, I won't. Good idea, but I won't do it.
Gabe says, let's see your Porsche. Come on. Who here wants to see Tank's Porsche? Comment below.
Wow,
Yeah,
Gabe.
the Porsche.
Wow.
Okay, how many people's watching?
Well, it looks like we got 10 watching right now.
Okay, 10 watching right now, so I need 5 word Porsche from 5 different people.
There you go, guys. There you go.
Porsche, 5 times.
Five different people need to say Porsche in the chat before he will pull the Porsche out.
The Beetle.
I should get a Porsche and just play a trick on them one day. Just show
Right?
a Porsche.
That would
you,
be fun.
you need to. You need to.
Green Frog was saying, I guess I understand in today's Sue Happy society why a private property owner doesn't dare risk potential liability. And I do agree. I understand what you're saying there. It's sad that we've become that way in this world where everybody instantly thinks of, well, how much money can I get from this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So we got 1, 2,
We got 5.
3. Well, one's porch, but technically you got 5.
Man, I mean, I'm gonna have to get up off my seat.
Looks
my
like it. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. We're at 9. We got 10 watching, which I'm one of those likes. So
I just thumbs up.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
get
you.
into it on there. 'Cause
Yeah, I did that before I came in. A thumbs up.
Let's load. There we go. Didn't want to load in. Still don't. My weather's sucking outside.
Yeah.
There we go.
Kevin says, don't take this the wrong way, but Frank does have a nice porch.
I actually do. It's pretty big also. You should see my deck. Hey, man, it's a big deck.
Yep. He did videos on it.
I just showed it. What are you presenting me for? I just showed it. I just went like this.
I've seen it before, actually. So,
Yeah.
but I do think it's cool.
Porsche.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean,
That is
VWs
awesome.
and Porsches are the same thing, aren't they? I mean, technically.
Pretty
Well,
much.
VW got bought out by
Back in the
Porsche.
day.
Porsche got bought by VW, one of the others. So.
Yeah. It is a beautiful car, though.
Yes.
It's nice, yes.
Yeah.
And I did jump a couple times with it. There's a couple scratches on it and things like that. But this would be another nice one to actually put FPV on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tank
that'd be cool.
The top don't come off, huh? It just looks like it, or does it?
It
go
just
back?
looks like it, yeah. This is
Yeah.
actually canvas. You know when you do
Yeah.
painting on canvas?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and I painted it gray. And I use toothpicks underneath, the pointy toothpicks on both ends.
Right. That's a
And,
really good idea, man.
I dip them in water in hot water for maybe 20 minutes. And then I actually bent them like in a circle because everything was curved. And I left them overnight to dry. So in the next morning, they were nice and curvy. And then I used shoe goo and I shoe gooed the canvas onto it once it was painted. And it
Yeah.
turned out pretty good. I really like
Yeah,
the
it looks
texture.
good.
The
That looks
texture
really
on
good.
it is just crazy and nice.
Looks really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But no, the roof does not open. I
Yeah.
didn't go that technical. And this is on eBay. You can actually search the Google the stickers, Herbie stickers on eBay, and you buy them. I think they're like $15 US. I think something like that.
Yeah, there's a few different people that have them, so you gotta watch. There's a couple of them that are real lousy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guy here locally got some, and they were garbage.
Green Frog, you're killing me. He says, rumor has it Frank's deck is abnormally large.
Yep. Go watch his videos on it. He shows it off.
And this is another one I'm bringing tomorrow. This is another one I'm bringing.
Nice.
It's nice too, man.
Is your son going with you tomorrow, Frank?
No, he's gonna stay here.
Ah,
Now that was a kit. Did you build that, or was it a kit?
No, this is actually a Tonka Winnebago. It's actually all metal.
Oh, okay.
This thing is over 14 pounds.
But it's an RC, or
Yes, it is RC.
yeah.
There's a C-Max.
GCM chassis, right?
GCM C-Max chassis on it with a scale transmission, 3D scale printed motor on it, You take off the seat, just like in a real Winnebago. You take off the seat in the center console. You can have access to the transmission, to the motor.
So you found the Tonka and then you put it on the frame.
That's correct.
Right. Yeah, that's cool, man.
And GCM had these axles, which are the narrow axle. They're a little narrower, and with these tires, it actually it's flush. It's actually in just a little bit. So I have 100% tire tuck. It doesn't look when you're driving, you get the nice bounce because everything's on lease. It looks scale when you're driving it actually, and you see it bounce and you see it sway. It's
Swaying,
cool.
yeah.
So I just doubled the leaves in the rear. I doubled up the leaves. So tomorrow is going to be the first time I actually try it to see how it actually handles with double leaves at the back.
I forgot you hadn't run it yet since you did that.
Yeah, no, I haven't run it. So it's going to be fun and interesting running this. I always like taking this to events because I let people drive it, and people really enjoy driving this. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's friggin' heavy. But I gotta start working on this. I want to put headlights. I want to put the little lights on the top also. Make it look like a more scale Winnebago, like finished
motorcycle in the back or something.
Yeah, well, I did have a. Oh no, that's on my camper. My camper that I did a bike hitch at the back. That was kind of cool.
So Gabe says he appreciates it, Tank. Your portion, apparently your deck is awesome.
Okay. Cool. You got to appreciate a good, nice, big deck.
Right. he also asked, how many RCs can you fit on your deck?
I have I almost got 70 RCs, and I can fit them all.
Oh, see, I think Gabe, I think he's got you beat.
Yeah.
Gabe, I think his collection's bigger than yours.
Or it's a close second, if anything.
I thought, wasn't Gabe at like 69 RCs? I thought something like that.
Yeah, but he also, I think, if I remember right, he said that's where he lost count.
It could be. Could be. Yeah, I think those wheels look good on that Winnebago. I agree with Kevin.
Yeah.
I think I can get maybe 2 more RCs because I can count to 10. So.
Says him and Tank have almost the same capacities.
Oh, yeah.
That is definitely a lot of RCs.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, Tank, how long have you been RCing to get 70 RCs?
Oh, a few weeks.
A few weeks.
Now, where do you keep all your RCs? Like, how are you storing them?
I used to have a home theater, but now it's been converted to my RC room. So I got 3 racks in the back and 2 racks on the side. Some RCs on the ground. But basically, my room is 16 by, I think it was 12 feet wide. And this is where my RC room is. And I'm actually at one end of it.
Okay.
He's looking across at everything.
At all those RCs.
Yeah. When I look up, I see all my RCs. So
Cool.
His are in front of him where mine are behind me.
Mine are above me upstairs.
okay.
And I'm struggling with like the 15 I have to figure out how I'm gonna, store them.
Yeah. These Walmart shelves are very handy.
Yeah.
I've had people, and they, like friends locally or whatever, people I work with, and they're like, "How many do you have?" And I'm like, "I'm around 15." They're like, "Oh my God, you got a problem!" I'm like, you just don't even know.
I'd have to take my shoe off if I had 15, so I could count.
Oh man.
You got a lot of Tamayas, right? Thank.
Yes. Well, a lot. I got a few.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? If you had to pick one RC to keep and get rid of everything else, what's the one you'd keep?
The TF2.
TF2. Okay, that was a quick answer. I didn't expect it that quick.
Someone asked him that not too long ago too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just like last week, I had the choice of what car to bring to test the track over there, and I took my TF2. And a lot of guys, the two guys that were with me, they have their TRX4, and I was going everywhere those guys were going. And even the guy with the TRX4 goes, "Man, that little truck's impressive. Man, that little truck's impressive." And then I looked at him. It's not the truck; it's the driver.
Oh. Ouch.
Not the truck, it's the driver. No, I was just kidding. It's pretty capable. Once you know how to handle it and how to use it, it's pretty capable.
Yeah.
Gabe says, "Tank has a deck. I have a shed." Kevin asks, "What is the one thing you always check to make sure you have before leaving the crawl?" And I'm assuming that's to all of us. And
Pants.
Me, it's batteries.
Batteries, radio, vehicle.
The radio for the proper truck.
That's definitely a good one. Important one.
Only because I've left them at home before the body for the vehicle I'm taking out.
Oh, you don't need the body. That's just secondary.
Technically, yeah.
Oh, Green Frog, you're killing me here.
Kagan. Wow. You're on a roll tonight.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not even going to read that one out.
No.
Yes, I do.
There you go.
Gabe says water to stay hydrated, tools, and a map if you need one. Oh.
Yeah, water or Gatorade. Sometimes I bring a couple bottle Gatorades also. Water is a very good thing to actually bring.
Yeah, I definitely take water with me. I drink between 100 and 130 ounces of water a day, so I pretty much always leave the house with at least a bottle of water, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be low on water intake here with that amount. That's the beginning, and figure for every extra 10 degrees, you got to add what they were saying on the news last night, another 40 ounces or something like that. 20 to 40 ounces. So
After it got like over 100?
yeah.
Okay. You broke up there when you said the 10 degrees. Like,
Sorry.
it's
Yeah.
my computer's messing up bad.
Oh no, my storm's starting to pop up again out here. I just heard some good thunder. So
My 6S is ready for tomorrow.
Sweet. What's that
my
going?
battery's ready.
Savage,
crap.
HPI Savage,
Okay,
with a Flux XL motor in it.
nice.
That thing's a beast. It does standing backflip, no problem. Like, you really got to watch the trigger.
Gotcha.
Or else you're
Skin
going over.
backflips, huh? That's cool.
So, the new RC park place, is it crawl everything, like crawling, bashing, everything?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. Awesome.
I put a couple bashing video on the Ollie RC Park Facebook page today. telling the people for tomorrow, don't forget to bring your bashers, because there is areas you can jump and have some fun. So
Yeah.
Hopefully some people are going to bring them.
Nice. Kevin, I take a multi-tool with me, or individuals. Pretty much I've went to a multi-tool. I have a couple now. I think I showed them like last week. So I have one that stays on my workbench that I use, my Bauhaus one, and then my Reese one, because it has a nut driver in it, is in my lipo case that I carry my lipos in. So that way I always got a tool to work on. Something if I need it.
That reminds me, I gotta get my bag set up for tomorrow.
Yep. But actually, I wasn't thinking about. I mean, batteries is definitely one of the things I always think about when I'm going to go crawl. But for me, my extra backpack that has all my video recording stuff, that's like one thing I never forget. Which is sometimes what sucks about going out to play is I usually, taking recording equipment to record, and so I'm charging batteries for the RCs, but then charging batteries for my recording equipment, all that kind of stuff. It's like, I'm charging all kinds of stuff. Usually my computer is usually charging my recording equipment batteries, and then my battery charger upstairs charging my batteries.
Yep.
It is sometimes nice to go crawl and not take the recording stuff and just go crawl.
And then you get out there and you realize you left your chip in the computer. Yeah.
Well, that's the nice thing that anymore, most of my recording is done on my old S8, Samsung S8. So it's all built into it. So if I have the phone, I'm
Built
good.
into it. Yeah.
So Gabe says on a crawler, it is best to check your rig for loose nuts and other hardware before you head to the trail. You shouldn't have any problems on the trail if you do that. And I do agree with that. I don't always check my rigs over before a crawl day. I do for competition. If I'm going to compete, I definitely check my rigs over the day before for loose stuff. But the ones that I just, trail runs and stuff, I typically don't check them.
I lost a wheel the other day. Luckily, it was done. It was in the mud. I just got out of the mud. I was driving, the wheel went, whoop, didn't roll because there was so much mud on it. But
Gabe says, unless you tumble and fall off a cliff, technically you just died there. But yeah, Green Frog scale DOA.
I just found my probe. I always miss my probe. I lost it. It's a very pointy little needle, kind of.
probe, huh?
What do you use it for?
Every time I
You
go
really
to
want
work
to know.
yeah. Every time I work on a truck, a basher especially, or even the trail truck, I use this, put this in the 2mm hex and just squiggle it around in there to loosen all the dirt. That way I don't strip the nut when I take it out.
That's a damn good idea, man.
Yeah.
Because I know there's dirt in there, and when you take your 2mm and you put it in there, it just compacts everything. It just compacts everything in there, and then your hole doesn't come deep enough. So you just take that, blow in it, and you're done. You're all set.
That is a good idea. Best idea for a probe I've heard from.
Yeah. On wheel nuts, I used to always check wheel nuts before going out, but I finally switched over to using a small drill to put my wheels and take my wheels off. And that's, for the most part, taking care of any loose wheel nut issues. And it's quicker than hand turning a little small 4-way.
Well, they fell off. That one fell off because I put the 9mm hex extensions on there, and I didn't have enough. I tightened them up, but I still didn't have enough threads for that wheel nut. It just loosened up.
Yeah. Green Frog says, always good to keep an eye out on your nuts once in a while.
But don't bump.
And then he said, "Wheel nuts." That is. Where did it? I don't see. Oh, I gotta show that one because it didn't pop up. Where did it go? It isn't showing in the one, but it's showing on the Gabe says anal probe. There, I said it.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy crackerjack. Yeah. Doo-doo-doo. TMI.
Well, guys, we are at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
I know AZ's got to be up early in the morning. Sorry for that one. I do not have an alarm set for tomorrow, but me and my son are getting up and driving 1.5 hours southwest of here to go to a friend's for the rest of the weekend. Dennis said stream just went south for sure.
You gonna bring any of your rigs, JMH?
I was going to. I wasn't going for any crawling, and I was going to take one because near his house is a park that's got some trails, and I was thinking about taking my TRX and doing like a trail run with it. But
Yeah.
I actually decided today I'm just taking the weekend off from RCs. Like I'm not going to take one. I don't want to deal with it. So no, I'm will not be taking one with me. So just go and enjoy hanging out with my friends and the 4th and whatnot. So
You gotta do that once in a while.
absolutely, it's good. It's good to do that. So
Kevin Gebb says he uses a metal toothpick. That's basically what my little tool is, kind of. It is a dentist probe or dentist pick, I guess he uses.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I stripped out my bolt that goes into the drive shaft when I was changing them bearings out. Changed all my bearings out the other day, except for the 2 going into the front because I stripped that bolt out.
Yeah,
I've heard of that happening a
Yeah.
lot. Soldering iron is what most people say because there's usually Loctite on those threads on those little screws going through the drive shafts. You take a
Yeah.
soldering iron and stick it in there for a minute or 2 to heat it up and then try to pull it out.
Now I'm gonna have to cut that little plastic piece off if it ever breaks and try to take the bolt out and all that stuff. But I'm not gonna do it unless it breaks.
Yeah, I understand.
I got about 13 Tamiyas.
13.
I just counted them. Yeah,
That's a good amount. I mean,
and 4 not built,
4 not built. Okay.
and that's not counting in the 13. So you got to add those to the 13.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna and get bigger. Okay, more. All right.
For an area like mine, this is something you want to take with you. Also, when you're out crawling.
A knife,
Yeah.
lots
good
small
knife.
knife.
Oh, butterfly knife, eh?
Yeah, that's just the one I grabbed. I've also
Yeah.
got my out the front in there, and I've got others.
I
But
thought
yeah, you
those
want
were
something like that.
illegal.
Huh?
I thought butterfly knives were illegal.
Not here.
Okay.
I usually keep one like this size, and I have another one that stays in my backpack usually. But not a bad thing to have.
I always have one in my
Yeah.
pocket.
Okay.
Oh,
Little tiny one.
I've got at least 4 blades on me at all times when I got my bag on me.
Nice. So we'll go around the panel and let everybody say anything, goodbyes and whatnot, and get ready and close out. So I'll start with AZ. If you got anything.
Just thank you for letting me hop in here, and everyone have a good 4th tomorrow. Stay safe. Hit that thumbs up, and talk to you guys on the next one.
Sounds good. Brian.
So everybody have a safe and happy 4th. And thank you guys for having me on tonight.
Thanks for being here. KB?
Yeah, same here. Have a happy 4th of July and have fun tomorrow. And thanks for letting me in, JMH.
Definitely. Tank?
Before saying bye, Autographics, do you do vinyl wraps for RCs? Have you ever tried it?
I can, yeah.
Have you ever tried it though?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it worked good or not bad?
They're decent. I mean, usually they get road rashed up pretty bad.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks, JMH RC for posting the link so I could join in. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And hope you guys have a good 4th of July, and we'll talk to everybody later. Go out there and break something, because if you're not breaking anything, you're not having any fun.
I like that. Very nice. And I just want to say thanks for everybody being on the panel, everybody in the chat. It's been a good one. Have a safe and fun 4th of July. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. And thanks to our military for everything they do to allow us to have the freedoms we have. And I hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend, and we'll talk to y'all next Saturday. So,
See you guys.
good night.
Go thank a veteran if you
Good
see
night.
him.
Yes, absolutely. Good one.